This video will cover usage and troubleshooting for the RIDGID 10-inch portable table saw R4510, the RIDGID 10-inch portable table saw R4513, and the RIDGID 10-inch cast iron professional table saw R4512. This video is not designed to replace your product's operator's manual. This video is here as a guide to offer clarification to key features on your tool. Always read, understand, and follow the warnings and instructions outlined in your product's operator's manual prior to use. You can also contact RIDGID customer service for further product information. If you do not have a copy of your product's operator's manual, call RIDGID customer service at 866-539-1710 or visit RIDGID.com to obtain one before you use your product. Before we perform any adjustments or install accessories, always make sure your table saw is unplugged and the switch key has been removed. To install the blade guard assembly, begin by removing the throat plate and unlocking the riving knife lock lever. Raise the riving knife to the up position and return the lock lever to the locked position and reinstall the throat plate. For the anti-kickback pawls, depress and hold the button on the side of the pawls. Then align the center over the rear hole of the riving knife and release. The pawls should then be securely locked into place. Next, release the guard lever located on the blade guard assembly. Lower the back of the guard into the center hole of the riving knife, then push the front of the guard down until it is parallel to the table. If the blade guard is not parallel to the table, the riving knife is not in the up position. After ensuring the riving knife is in the correct position, lock the guard lever into place. Ensure secure fitment prior to performing a cut. A table saw's primary purpose is for rip cuts, and to a lesser extent, for cross cuts. Make adjustments for desired cut. Plug in saw and insert yellow key switch. Rip cuts are defined as a cutting operation along the length of the workpiece or parallel with the grain of the material. Cross cuts, which are cuts against the grain or width of the material, are typically performed using miter gauges. A miter saw is ideal for cross cuts, but for smaller jobs, a table saw may be used. RIDGID table saws come with standard miter gauges that make cross cuts easy to accomplish. Each table saw's miter gauge is designed for use in the integrated miter gauge T-slots. The gauges also come equipped with positive stops at common angles. To adjust the positive stops, simply adjust the screws on the underside of the miter gauge to the desired position. The positive stops can be bypassed by pulling out the stop pin. The miter gauge T-slots in the tabletops are milled to a standard 3/4 inch by 3/8 inch slot. To set a bevel cut, unlock bevel locking lever. Adjust bevel angle to desired setting. Lock bevel locking lever. Set correct blade depth for the workpiece. On occasion, it may be necessary to adjust the alignment of the rip fence to the blade. A misaligned fence can result in inaccurate cuts or binding of the material. In order to perform an adjustment, first unplug the saw and remove yellow switch key. Raise the fence locking lever to the unlocked position. Place a framing square beside the blade and move the rip fence up to the square. Take the dimension on the rip scale. Move the fence back and turn the framing square 180 degrees to check the other side. If the two dimensions are not the same, loosen the 4 screws on the fence and align it. Retighten the 4 screws. Make 2 or 3 test cuts on scrap wood. If the cuts are not true, repeat the process. If the rip fence is not firmly secured in place after the lock handle is lowered, the locking lever may require adjustment. Try moving the fence from side to side. If the fence moves, tighten the adjusting nut on the back of the fence a 1/4 turn. Repeat as necessary to arrive at a secure connection. RIDGID table saws are designed to perform non-through cuts, such as rabbets and dados. All rigid table saws are designed to accept a dado blade stack that is up to 6 inches in diameter and up to 1/2 inch in width. In order to perform a dado cut, a dado throat plate is required. Check the operator's manual for the accessory part number. You must first order a dado blade throat plate from RIDGID customer service. The installation process for a dado blade stack is the same as the installation of a typical blade, only you must use a dado throat plate in combination with a dado blade stack. If you experience binding, unusual resistance, or the motor bogging down during a typical application, stop attempting the cut and turn the saw off. Binding is usually the result of misalignment. Unplug the saw and perform the alignment checks outlined in your operator's manual. Never attempt to perform a cut when experiencing significant resistance. When there is resistance, there is usually an alignment issue. Over time, cast iron surfaces will naturally develop surface rust or oxidation. Usually, a little WD-40 or mineral spirits will clean up light staining or surface rust. A Scotch-Brite pad or similar will work for tougher stains. Extremely fine sanding blocks if all else fails. After cleaning the surface, it needs to be protected or it will quickly rust up again. To protect it, it's recommended to use the Bow Shield T9 or similar. Alternatively, a floor paste wax, such as Johnson's, is recommended.